button.
Is my connection okay?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. Because I put a new, like, I went fucking apeshit last Monday and did some crazy shit to this fucking laptop, man. It's a Cyclops. Like, no, not a Cyclops. It's a fucking
Cyclops.
octopus. It looks like fucking Cthulhu, dude.
Oh
With,
yeah,
like, duct tape.
yeah. I'm familiar with that look. You should see behind any piece of audio equipment in this place.
Yeah, also, you might hear a techie sound, like a electronic sound, like it's booting up, because I had to duct tape some stuff onto a external hard drive just on the back of the top of it.
We'll just cover that up with Doom sound effects.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Because I can only capture sound out of the 98 machine. I can't capture video. I bought enough adapters to have three backup plans to get a video capture out of a PC. And the Elgato has found a way to make every one of those not work. Because of course it does. Of course the video capture device won't capture video. Of course it won't.
Well,
It's never captured video.
Why would it? Why would it?
That's okay. The Focusrite SPDIF don't work right either. So that's why there's no team talk, because I'm using a different M audio card that uses the same driver but has less inputs and outputs, but they're balanced inputs and outputs. And I'm like, well, if I use the Focusrite for stereo in and out with the SPDIF, I only need 4 inputs and outputs, and then I can get rid of the 1010 LT and play with that somewhere else. But but now Team Talk isn't an option unless I put that back or fix the SPDIF problem with the. But you all don't want to hear about that. You all want to hear a show. We're here for the show, the really big show. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Sure.
Now, is it a left shoe or a right shoe?
It's both shoes. It's 2 shoes for the price of 1.
Hey, it's venison.
Oh. And venison is here just in time for everyone's favorite internet radio show.
Insert title here.
The show that changes titles so often, we just put a placeholder in. That's just how we roll. That's how we had to do it. And this week,
what are we going to call it this time?
This time we're going to call it "What Did Gators Buy for $5 each?" But that's coming up later. We're also going to call it "Windows 98 is a delicate flower."
No.
Yes.
No,
yes.
It's a vintage.
No.
Taxidermy wall hanging.
Taxidermy wall hanging. But
from the Victorian era.
But if you try to use it, you'll find Windows 98 is a delicate flower, and I did not make that up. Metal Jesus Rocks said that, and because
Windows 98 just doesn't play well with others.
No, it's a delicate flower, and I figured out my biggest problem with doing a Windows 98 install with this motherboard is I kept trying to install the Windows 98 drivers for the motherboard. Asus developed Windows 98 drivers for this motherboard, and and they've gone through multiple versions. I found 3 versions of these drivers. I took the latest one, thinking that that would have the least amount of bugs in it. And the best I can figure, the Asus Windows 98 drivers are good for 3 things. 1, the sound card driver does work properly if you want to use the onboard sound card. Okay, that's good, but I don't. So, 2, the network, the onboard network card driver does work, I think, if you want to hook up the computer to the network and get on the internet, but I don't. All I know is that it sees a device. I haven't actually tried to see if I actually can get on the network, but so, okay, that driver works. And then that brings us to the RAID controller and chipset drivers, and everything works fine without installing those drivers. And then when you install those drivers, everything starts to break. So I figured out what those drivers do. They're there to break your delicate Windows 98 install. And so I figured out the best way to run Windows 98 on an Asus motherboard from 2003 is to not install the drivers.
98 doesn't like SATA.
Well, I'm not even connecting a SATA hard drive at this point. It breaks before I even get to the point of trying to connect a SATA hard drive. Now, mind you,
Of course not.
now here's
It doesn't like the driver.
here's the well, but the drivers aren't even there to make it use SATA. The drivers are there for it to use just any. Well, that's part of it. But
So
go ahead, Lulu.
when will you get it in your thick fucking skull that some things are just obsolete?
I've not said that this isn't obsolete. I'm trying to play with obsolete equipment, and I am now. I'm not trying to install Windows 98 on my brand new state-of-the-art machine. I have no delusions of that working. I'm using hardware that has had Windows 98 drivers developed for it, which on the surface would imply it was designed to be able to work with 98, even if 98 was a little on the old side at the time it was manufactured. I'm finding out I don't know why they developed these drivers, because they don't work. I'd be real...
You would have to go back to like 2000 at the
Yeah.
latest.
Yeah, if I picked up a Pentium 3, I'd probably have better luck, but Venison is kind of right. 98 doesn't like serial ATA. It starts to get into a state where certain things start setting up in compatibility
Tyler
mode.
Blount, 1994, writes, "Hello there, I'm Tyler.
Hello.
Nice to meet you."
Hello, Tyler. Nice to meet you too. Thank you for tuning in, Tyler. But
Nice to meet you.
hello, Tyler. Nice to meet you too. Okay, someone's looping us back. Oh, I think I'm looping us back.
Nice one.
The video started playing automatically for my convenience, so because of course it did. Anyways,
Yeah.
So the point is that part of the problem is that I do have serial ATA drives in this case, because I also set up a XP installation, and I found that if I connect the serial ATA drive with a FAT32 partition on it, Windows 98 will access and will use that partition, so long as I don't install the chipset drivers. It works fine without the drivers. When you install the drivers, it breaks it because it tries to... And I don't need the drivers, so I have to go against my intuition, ignore all the yellow exclamation points and the device manager, and just not install drivers. And that is how to use Windows 98 on 2003 equipment. You have any thoughts about that, Brian?
Yeah, sounds about right.
I would really love to talk to the guys on the development team at Asus.
I bet you do.
And I would like to politely and gently, because I'm doing this for fun. I'm having fun. I'm not.
Politely?
This is fun. This is turning into a fun challenge. And I once I started using a torrent I found a download from archive.org of Ghost. And it is much quicker to take a Ghost image of a clean 98 install before touching anything and deploy that than is to go through the Windows 98 install 5 fucking times in a row. So I've speeded up the trial and error process by using Ghost, which is a great piece of vintage software. But I would love to have a polite conversation with the developers at Asus and say, what was your... plan.
What were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, is there something, because I still have this mindset of they made the drivers, there's got to be some right way to use them. I'm not I'm not using a whole lot of newer stuff that it's all from the right time period. It's all the vintage equipment. I leave off the SATA drives. I just connect one IDE drive, try to do a straightforward 98 install the drivers, and it breaks. So what was the intent? What am I doing wrong? Is there a way that this was supposed to work that I'm doing something wrong, or was it just the case of...
You were just wrong.
Well, and I'm trying... I've gone into this assuming I'm wrong, and that's why I've tried it multiple ways, multiple times, without screaming at the motherboard. And I'm having a fun challenge here. But I've come to realize that, no, I can't find a way to make these drivers work. I can't do it.
Tyler is asking, is Lummish with you, man? Because I would love to talk to her again. I don't...
Lummish is well she's downstairs. I could tell her you say hi. But I think she's actually feeling a little under the weather this evening, so I don't want to bother too much right now. But I will tell her you stopped by and said hi. Lummish, also known as Barefoot Lurker, also known as my wife. That Lummish.
You know that within 3 minutes of talking Asus, so profanities will be screaming, and you will be banned from the site for life.
No. My beef with Asus is in the past. I have a genuine curiosity about how these drivers are supposed to work, and my leading theory right now, after trying them multiple different ways, is that they're going to come with, yeah, man, we didn't expect anyone to actually use those, man. That board just won't work with 98. We made drivers that install, but it, Windows 98, man.
It could be the motherboard. Is it a newer motherboard?
It's straight out of 2003. Well,
you might have to go into a older motherboard.
But they did. You are right that this motherboard is generally of a newer vintage than the 98 era. By 2003, 2004, people generally weren't installing 98. But they did develop 98 drivers for this specific model. And it very well could be that they just made their best effort to make drivers just to appease their customers, but there were problems with the hardware that it would never be perfect. What I generally run into is I can install the motherboard drivers by themselves, and it works fine at first. And then if I install the video card driver, it reaches a point where if I try to launch a command prompt, it tells me that there's not enough resources available to open the command prompt. So it's as if putting in all these hardware drivers somehow is tying up some resources unnecessarily. That's making 98 not able to handle what it needs to handle. I don't know. It's weird. But that's the 98 update. I'm having fun. It's a fun challenge. I actually do want to get an older tower and try to build a 98 machine out of a good old school beige tower with like a Pentium 3 in it. I think that would make a better 98 machine and just make this box strictly XP. But that's another project for another time.
He says this now, and then watch, it will be lit on fire with gasoline out in his driveway.
Oh, no. This is nostalgia. This is pure nostalgia. I rebuild my first build, and that's precious to me. There's no fire. If I light this on fire, it's because the parts are died. I can't resurrect it, and I want to send it out in style on a pyre out into the ocean, off to see Viking funeral. That is the only reason I would light this tower on fire, is to give it a Viking funeral.
Then at least you're gonna push it off the second floor and say, "Fuck you, bitch."
That is not a proper Viking funeral.
You're not gonna have a Viking funeral for that fucking machine.
I might. I just might. All right.
No, well, you're not. You're gonna get so fucking pissed off that you're gonna start screaming at eBay, telling you, "I want a refund because they're not shipping it correctly.
Now, I want a refund when things don't get shipped correctly, but the parts have already been shipped to me and are still working miraculously. It's when I receive a binder of Shellac 78 records that were just put in a not even padded envelope and dropped in a mailbox that I start to get angry about things not being shipped directly, because by the time it reached me, that literally happened to me once. I bought a Perry Como Christmas album on Shellac 78s. The guy dropped it in a barely padded envelope, threw it in the mailbox. I had an envelope filled with shellac shards is what I had. It was I sent him a message like, what in the fuck were you thinking? And he just said sorry and refunded me. And I almost want to reply back, no, I don't care about the money. I just want to know what the hell you were thinking. I really just want to understand your mindset here.
Well, obviously, he got the records from his grandmother, knew how much they were worth, and just said, "Oh, I don't know how records work."
But I mean, it's you hold it, you feel it's rather firm and brittle. You don't have to know much about fine china to know that you don't just put a stack of plates in a barely padded envelope and drop it in a mailbox.
Yeah, you know what those are good for once they shatter? Good to fucking cut someone's throat with.
Yeah, the thought occurred to me, but not over Perry Como records. Now, if they were Les Paul records. Well, it was the Perry Como Christmas album. It's a classic.
Oh.
Yeah, you can sing Jingle Bells while you fucking start slicing people's necks open and wearing a Santa Claus suit.
What do you got against Perry Como, Venison? Too white for you?
Perry fucking Como.
I won't say.
Dune asking if I tried a VM. Dude, I have a 98 VM. If this was just about having a working 98 install, I'd spin up the VM. This is about building a 98 machine for the sake of building a 98 machine. It's you know, that'd be like me asking you, well, can't you just get one of those pull string automatic pop-up scaffolds? Where's the sport in that? You got to build your scaffold. I don't know. Does that analogy work? How is everyone this week?
All right.
My dad's dying, so I'm fucking peachy keen.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all right.
And I'm running out of cigarettes because of some paperwork I should have put in last month.
Okay. Rough week all around, it sounds like. And Brian, how you doing?
No, I'm doing better now.
Yeah. That's good.
Just have to work through the process.
Yeah. Do we, Brian? We didn't mention last week what was going on. I don't know what you want to say or not say, so we could just continue on.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Yeah. So a week ago, my dad died, but it was his time. That's all.
Bad week for dads this week.
So rather than going to visit him, I went down to kind of make the arrangements.
Yeah, that's well, it's always at least it's good to have family to come together and help through those times. So
that we haven't figured out when that's going to be yet. Because one brother's coming from Connecticut, the other from Michigan, down to California. So
you're all spread out. So that
yeah. And then, just 2 months ago, we got together for my mother. So it's, back to back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're together again. So there is.
Right, exactly.
There's that. Tyler writing, and not to mention, I love to see your stream. Let it die again. Well, that's kind of the thing is, Lummy wanted to stream a lot of different things. And she kept running into people going, well, you could do Let It Die. Why don't you do and that was a little frustrating because she's trying to offer variety and didn't want to just play only one game all the time. But she's been thinking about a lot of different things. I will let her know you said hi. But thank you for stopping in, Tyler. Where were we? Yes, so you got family coming together. One thing I remember I learned when my mother passed away was a lot of times you go to funerals and you see the boards up of all the photographs, and your initial thought when you see that at someone else's funeral is how nice is that? And it's always enjoyable to look at photos, and you kind of get to see things of their life that maybe you didn't know or maybe you did know, or look through time and all that. And it's like, how nice is a family to go to the time and effort to put this together for us to look at. And you realize no, that is not at all what that's about. It's actually very uplifting and comforting to take the time to go through the photos and remember those times. And that was I get home and we got the photos out, me and my siblings, my dad going through them, telling stories, remembering old times, and it makes for an uplifting evening and really helps get through that. Of course, then you go to sleep and you... all right, who's looking me back?
Not me.
Okay. Check.
Not me.
Check.
Can't be me.
Medicine, it's you.
No, can't be.
It was
Yes, it
happening
is.
while you talked. Okay.
Oh, shit.
You using a headset?
No, he's not.
Yeah,
Because he's
yes,
a
I am.
fucking moron.
I am on the headset, you dick.
Anyways, that's just my little memory. Was
No,
the,
you're not, you fucking douche canoe.
Funny you should say that. I've been just waiting for the right moment to break that out.
Dude.
Here he is, the biggest douche of the universe. In all the galaxies, there's no bigger douche than you.
Actually, I was saving that song for if the topic of a certain politician came up. But moving right along. Yeah, so my best thoughts and my heart goes out to all of you, and we'll just move along. Have a nice I don't know what else is
Move along.
what else is there to talk about?
Puppies and kittens.
Puppies and kittens. Well, we do have kitty cats here, and like I said, they're always fun to. They like it. They like playing with the drop cloth these days. So I did a little. This was this past weekend. Beautiful weekend. Beautiful weather. Beautiful sunny day. So of course I had to go record shopping because it was perfect weather for record shopping because
why not?
well the
Record shopping.
outdoor flea market and beautiful
Where
weather.
you can hiss and disdain as people don't take care of their records and bitch, why aren't you taking care of your records properly?
Well, there's different types of sellers. There are the sellers that have the box of crap from the storage locker that maybe there's a gem in there. There's the stuff that's really trashed that they see you get a trash copy of Led Zeppelin and it's like yeah that's $10 and it's like
what the fuck?
and it's like $10 for that and
You know what our flea market has?
what?
Old DVDs of porn.
Oh my God! I want to go to your flea market. Wait a minute.
It has 6 stalls, and this one Mexican guy has boxes and boxes of old DVDs of fucking porn.
Wait a minute. I've never paid for porn ever. People.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
People.
There's old nasty ass trinkets. This one guy that fixes bikes and sells trashy ass bikes, and then there's this Mexican dude that sells vintage, quote unquote, vintage jeans and the little odds and ends, and then a whole gazebo filled boxes filled of fucking porn, dude. and like kids can go up and fucking look at these DVDs full of porn, and like they like the fucking parents have to like tell him no, but he doesn't tell them no.
Hey, sale's a sale. There you go. Yeah, no, I mean, the thing is I did pretty good with the DVDs. There are some people that just have tons of DVDs. They're $1 each. That's great. A few movies that you kind of like and you might want to watch. Even if you only watch it once, $1 for a DVD, heck, that's cheaper than renting. You know?
You know what he doesn't have?
What?
He doesn't have hentai.
Aw, well, that's
But
worth
he has
money.
anal fisting.
He has what?
He has anal fisting, but he doesn't have hentai.
Wait. He has anal fisting videos, or he actually does anal fisting right there in the flea market for show?
He has anal fisting videos, but he doesn't have hentai videos.
Wait a minute. How do you know he has
my
anal
God.
fisting video? Why were you...
Because I once looked in there while I was curious.
How much was he selling them for?
$3 for $5.
$3 for $5, and you weren't curious enough to check it out?
No, I was like, oh my god, why do you have these? Because they sell. I was like, why?
Oh man, yeah, porn sells. I don't know why. You can get all you want for free.
The
But,
internet is for porn.
and cat pictures. You know, it's like I always said in the workplace. The internet is for two things, and one of them is cat pictures. And then you pause and wait, and then a few people start giggling, and then there's that one person that goes, "What's the other thing?" Never mind.
Or you just look at them with that weird, creepy smile and go, eat this thing.
Never mind. Go back to your cat pictures. We know what you're doing on the internet. Never you mind about the other thing.
You can also say velvet dick sleeves.
Velvet dicks. Wait, what?
You never heard the commercial? I forget who made the commercial now. Someone made a commercial about velvet condoms.
Velvet condom. I don't think that would be very effective. I see a flaw with this design plan.
I know, but they made it was in that little group with Pedge and
Social crime?
yes, it was Social Crime.
They were making velvet condoms. I did not realize that. Well,
Yes, they made a velvet condom promotion or commercial.
well, that would be like a deluxe edition of the Sloan Jackoff sock, wouldn't it?
I guess.
I guess
I
that'd
don't
be
know.
that'd be like the premium Sloan Jackoff sock, made of pure velvet.
But they weren't jacking off into it. They were actually promoting it to like fuck your woman with.
Well, I mean, I guess if you like the feel of velvet, it could enhance the experience. If it was for enhancing the experience rather than for protection, maybe? I don't know. What do you...
Depending if it was lined or not.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, it's like Andrew Take It or Leave It used to always say. He would always turn the rib condoms inside out because he only cared about himself. But
Oh! That's a new one.
I've been watching Grace and Frankie, and it's funny. You get to the part where they're designing a vibrator for older people.
what has it got, like bigger buttons on it that say on and off in large print?
And it lights up at night in the dark.
And so you can see where you're putting it.
And it's softer, so so it doesn't work your arthritis. It's
What?
pretty funny.
Does it have an amplifier so that you can hear the vibrations for the hard of hearing, or is that maybe?
See, these are all good ideas.
These are all great. Now gas powered.
Wow.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
you sir-
Moral Oral. Oh my god, Moral Oral. At one point, Moral Oral's
Oh, God.
mother goes to the hardware store and picks up a jackhammer.
Okay, that's something you could use, I guess.
Oh, just the rampaging rabbit and be done with it.
Now, anyways, Venison, did you listen to Dude and Bob yesterday?
No, I forgot I was on another station.
Oh, good. Oh, good. No spoilers then, because you recently did a electronic music show, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I missed it. I and you didn't record it, so I can't even hear it afterwards.
Oh, I've got the archive.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you have to send it over so I can check out what you picked. But I found the lovely weather. Went to the flea market. I found someone was selling a bunch of PlayStation consoles. They had an old school gray PlayStation 1, and they had the little mini white PS1, and they had a few of the small silver PS2s. And they're basically like, well, these are all $5 each, except for the PS1, which is $10 because it has a power cord on it. So I'm like, $10 for a PS1 with the power cord, and $5 for a PlayStation 1 with its iconic look. $15 for two of these? Yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'll take these two for $15. I hand him a $20. He says, you want one of the PS2s too to make it an even 20s? So I don't have to give you change? He left that last part out, and I'm like, I mean, it's kind of cool. And then he's like, I'll throw in an extra PS2 controller. I'm like, done. $5 for a PS2 controller. I'll do that. Sure. And I get this little gray PS2 too. So I now have. I brought home 3 consoles from the flea market this past weekend.
Nice.
So and only one of them has a power cord. And still no AV cord, but I could, figure that out. I'll have to buy some cords, clean them up a bit, and
dude, just go to the Goodwill.
Yeah,
go to the fucking Goodwill, man.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good idea. That's a solid idea. But
find AV cords everywhere around there.
But there's a guy that has a record stand that I typically visit every time I go to the flea market, and so Gators bought 2 $5 records from him. And I guess the game here is, which record do you prefer? And they're both unique and interesting. And well, I'm gonna put this one on, and we'll see if Venison can name that tune or name that artist. So and it's a record that's rather rare, but it was only $5 because it's rather beat up.
The hell?
It's electronic music.
There are millions of them out there.
So you're not familiar with this one?
Don't sound familiar.
Brian, any ideas?
I do recognize the crackle.
It's a record. We've established that. Okay.
Makes me kind of want Rice Krispies.
It was.
Am I supposed to recognize that? Is that Babbage?
No, it's not Babbage, but it is an artist that you're probably familiar with a lot of his other work and some of the music and the band he was in and some of his music solo. You would know the name. You've definitely heard of the guy that made this.
And again,
Randy Savage.
The weird ones.
No.
You always pick up the weird ones.
No, this is George Harrison's second solo album.
George Harrison?
Yeah. Really? He put out an electronic music album.
I never even heard of this.
You should check it out. It's pretty good. What do you think?
I think it was when they were doing their drugs.
Yeah, George has pretty much dismissed it as rubbish anytime he was asked about it afterwards. So,
Do you think?
it is the second and last album that was put out on the Zapple label, which was a label. Well, you know, when the Beatles put Apple together, it was basically like, oh my God, we got more money than we know what to do with. Let's just burn it. And so they made, you know, Apple Records, Apple Core, Apple Records, the Apple Boutique, that little store. They had the Apple Electronics division, where their friend Magic Alex, who liked to make little boxes with blinking lights on them, which stoners just love. He was going to build them a recording studio. And at some point they realized, well, we're losing money. We keep spending money and we keep losing money. We're not quite sure how this works. And so that's when they brought in Alan Klein. He just shut it down, all these money wasters, and he closed down Zapple Records, which was going to be their experimental budget line label. And the only other album
It wasn't so much crap. Maybe they would have kept it around.
Well, out of the two albums that were put out on Zapple, this is the better one. The other one's a John.
No!
The first album on Zapple Records is a John and Yoko collaboration.
Oh, yeah. And then they wondered.
I have a copy of that if you want me to pull that one out.
No.
Why couldn't it have been Yoko to have been killed down that alleyway?
Well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
random.
Why did anyone have to be killed? But
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was one $5 purchase, and I think this was a good deal. You don't think so? Maybe
Yeah, instead of buying a time machine to go back and get rid of Hitler, use it to get rid of Yoko.
Here, why don't we listen to some of the other side? I don't see what's not to like about this.
You
It
would.
just sounds like noise.
It's very interesting noise, though.
No?
You know what it is, Johnny?
What is it?
I just worked it out.
Yeah?
He wrote it for you.
No, I think it was the.
It's an,
I think it was the drugs.
It's an acid trip. It's an acid trip translated to sound.
Well, actually, the story is that George Harrison wanted to buy a Moog synthesizer in like 1968, and you know what, George? Here's the thing. This is actually, this side of the record is not really George Harrison's music. It's who's the name of that guy that's good, famous for the Moog? I'm pulling up the Wikipedia page now so I can. Krauss. What's Krauss's first name? I'm finding
That
it.
I don't know, because I don't really know much about the Moog.
Yeah, well, no, there's
Like, I've heard of it,
Bernie.
but
Yeah. Well, Bernie Krause was kind of a Moog salesman, and he also put out a lot of albums with a partner. Beaver and Krause were a American musical duo consisting of Paul Beaver and Bernie Krause. They put out the None Such Guide to Electronic Music, which was a famous Moog album. And so after a recording session, George asked Bernie Krause to demonstrate the Moog to him because he was interested in buying one. And unbeknownst to Bernie Krause, George told the recording engineer, keep rolling tape. And he recorded the demonstration that Bernie Krause did. And Krause proceeded to like play material and stuff that he was working on for his next album, which he said if I knew they were running tape, I would have never played that stuff for him. And so George was impressed. So he took the tape and he called up and said, I'd like to order one. And he bought a Moog, which was used on Abbey Road. Like in Here Comes the Sun, there's Moog synthesizer parts on it. That's the Moog that he bought from Bernie Krause. So he has Bernie come out to help him set it up and demonstrate it to him. Bernie flies out, has an awful experience with him. While he's there, George says, "Oh, hey, I got this album that is coming out this year." It plays this for him, and Bernie realizes, "Oh my God, this isn't George's album. This is what the stuff I was playing for him." And Bernie's like, You didn't talk to me about this. You didn't ask me about this." And George is like, "Oh, if it makes any money, I'll send you a few quid." And so, yeah, this is not George Harrison. This is Bernie Krause demonstrating the Moog to George Harrison. That's the story Bernie Krause gave. George never gave his side of the story.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't know if there's another side of that story or not. I don't know, but the story from Bernie Krause is that this is actually him demonstrating the Moog, and George took the
Copyright
tape.
infringement.
Yeah, but Bernie couldn't afford to sue George for copyright infringement. Whoever owned the rights to He's So Fine took care of that many years later, though.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the story behind that album.
Georgie sounds like a bad boy.
Well, maybe it was the drugs.
No. I
Yeah.
think he's wicked.
Well, like I said, I mean, I hate to trash on the guy without having his side of the story. And, you know, good people do bad things, bad people do good things. I'm not judging. It's just an interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Monkeys did it better.
Well, maybe if that record's not your bag, I did find another record that was $5 that I couldn't resist. And it's a little bit different. It's a different genre, but I think it's just as fun. And
Dreamed about a reefer 5 feet long, a little bit hot, but not too strong. You'll be high, but not for long. If you're a viper, I'm the king.
I figured, you know, you can't go wrong with a Jug Band album.
Really?
This is cool.
Yeah. It's the Jim Kweskin Jug Man.
Huh.
And I knew that he does good Jug Band stuff because, you know, I've heard of him, and I know it's good Jug Band music. It's worth having in your collection.
Uh-huh.
Not to mention, let's see, if we queue up another track on here. There's some songs with a female vocalist on here. I'm trying to find one of them now. Okay, I need to find some female vocals on here. Nope. Alright. Here we go. See if you recognize this voice.
Cyndi Lauper.
Nope.
Nancy Reagan.
Mariah Muldaur.
Oh yeah, I recognize
That was my next guess.
You know,
Who's that?
Midnight at the Oasis?
Really?
Really? You don't know the song Midnight at the Oasis?
Yeah, I do, but I never knew the artist.
Yeah.
I don't know that song.
Wasn't she on Star Trek Next Gen?
I don't. She was a singer. I don't know everyone that's appeared in every episode, so but I don't.
No. One of the main characters.
I don't think so.
Troy.
Wow,
Or
that's
is
the
that a
only
different
line
actress?
I remember for that song.
Counselor Troy. Who was the actor for that role?
Let's see. Next Generation Troy. We'll Google that right now. Let's see. Deanna Troy, portrayed by Marina Sirtis.
Okay,
who
so-
was-
Marina,
who was her
Mariah.
mother? So who was her mother?
All right.
That
Well,
was Spock's mother.
Lou,
What are you doing? A genealogy?
genealogy of jug band members. No, Lulu still don't know this song, so now we have to.
No, I don't know. I'm like completely in the dark with this one.
Okay, no,
Okay, so hang
Who
on.
the fuck is this vagina?
it's this song.
Yeah, I don't-
Oh,
Right.
Kind of a distinct voice that she has.
Yeah. Not entirely unpleasant.
I will say that is a good assessment of her voice because I actually bought the album the song is on for $1. I couldn't make it through the first song because I just was like, oh my god, this voice gets annoying after a while. But she
yeah.
on that album. But in this, I like this song and I like her singing on jug band albums. But I can't stand the rest of her solo album. I can't. I don't know why, but I just can't.
Well, one hit wonder, right?
Yeah, well,
Officially?
like I said, I think she does great with the jug band music too.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
this
think
was
it's
real
but what was
popular.
actual?
the type of music. I think it's the type of music and how she sings it. Like she hits too weird of a high note. Like she like dips down on too weird of a high note and comes up on a high note, and it really tears at your ears. That's what I've
Well,
noticed.
Well, it's very popular when on top 40 radio.
Oh yeah, no, this song I can tolerate. The rest of the album, nah. I'll just get the 45. I'll be fine.
But it kind of reminds me of the Ohio Express.
Which iteration? Okay.
Well, the bubblegum stuff.
Mariah Muldaur reminds you of the Ohio Express. Please fill in the gap here because
Yeah, really.
Huh?
What is the Ohio Express? Is it because it's dumb and janky and like full of like rednecks and trailers?
No. Ohio Express was a group of guys that, well, the Ohio Express is an interesting story.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, but you know, the thing is though, is the Ohio Express was the greatest band that never actually existed. They were strictly a name that was owned by a couple of businessmen that hired songwriters. They were a figment of your imagination. Oh, sure, there was a group of people that went around and played music, calling themselves Ohio Express.
And they became bubblegum kings.
But none of those guys are actually on this recording. And sure, people are playing on this recording, but they're a bunch of studio musicians. but you know,
Sort of like the Archies.
before that song, there was another Ohio Express single, which is another completely different group of musicians. Here we go. This is also credited to the Ohio Express.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's everyone's favorite ripoff of Louie Louie.
What?
I like this version
Fridge,
of Ohio
fridge.
Express better.
I don't remember this one.
Here's a refrain.
I've never heard this.
Yeah, I don't think it hit really big, but it was an earlier Ohio Express single. It was originally released as a band called The Rare Breed, and then they reissued it as the Ohio Express, and then they recorded Yummy 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 with a completely different group of studio musicians. And once they did that, Joey Levine became the
That
voice
one
of
made
the
it.
Ohio Express. So yeah, there's a lot of different people that have played, and then there was a group of people that recorded some other later singles credited to the Ohio Express. Here we go. This is also an Ohio Express single.
Cruising round, round, fell out of my boat. Swam around, started to float. Floated
Wow.
round, came and
Ever
You know, it
hear?
reminds me of Frank Zappa, the mother of his invention.
You ever hear this one?
What? No, never heard
There's a
this.
documentary on Netflix, and he describes how, the band got going, they released some records, and in 1969 he brought the whole band in. Hey guys, you're doing great, you're all fired.
Yeah, that was the original Mothers of Invention. He got tired of
He wanted
throwing
better
away money on.
musicians,
He
so he got rid of everybody. So,
Yeah. He
Which
wrote
is-
about that. Basically, it was he felt like they were just all like leeching off of him, and just that was like, that's it, whatever. I'm disbanding the band, and that's when.
Before or after we are in this for the money?
No, this is after. We're Only in It for the Money was the third real Mothers of Invention album. Basically, he fired them all, and he had enough recordings to put together Burnt Weenie Sandwich and Weasels Rip My Flesh. And then he put together the version of the band with Flo and Eddie.
And they did Hot Rats.
Well, Flo and Eddie didn't do Hot Rats. He did Hot Rats. That was more of a studio album. But then he did,
Fillmore East?
but he did, Fillmore East and Chunga's Revenge.
That was
Oh,
a
yeah.
great album.
But
Fillmore East was
But
wild.
this version of the Ohio Express were a group of studio musicians that later formed a band called 10cc. So, yeah, when you say the Ohio Express, there's about 3 or 4 different bands you could be referring to.
Wow.
I like
So it's-
being chewed upon by a baby octopus.
Well, but think of how many
What
bands
the
have
fuck?
think of how many bands have reinvented themselves, like Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the only real Fleetwood Mac was Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. Anyone knows that.
And the only person that was consistent with all of them was Mick himself.
And he was
And
just there.
Peter Green named it after him because he wanted to boost his ego.
Yeah, because he wanted him to join the band. That's what it was.
And
Didn't
Peter
his-
Green didn't care to call it himself.
It's like
I mean,
Didn't
what
his wife
would
end
he
up
call
taking
green
over?
slime?
Actually, I think he called it Fleetwood Mac, and then he still had to talk Fleetwood into joining the band. Like they were playing as Fleetwood Mac, and Mick hadn't joined the band yet. I don't quote me on that.
Well,
but
but also wanted to inspire the guy.
yeah, like, well, you had to join
You
the
know,
band.
hey,
It's
you
named
can do
after you.
this. Yeah.
Well, then how did they get a
Hilarious.
female singer?
Well, through lineup changes. Peter Green got messed up on drugs, and Christine McVie
Oh yeah, always blame the drugs.
married John McVie. She was his girlfriend at the time, and she kind of got in the band that way, I think. And then they needed. Then Bob Welch joined the band for a period of time. And then he left, so they needed to hire another guitar player, and they liked Lindsey Buckingham, but he was with Stevie Nicks, and he kind of was like, well, it's a package deal. If you want me in the band, you have to take
Yeah.
Stevie Nicks too.
And it was good to get a couple of Americans in the band because, hey, that's where you're going to sell music,
Yeah.
right? So it's a mixture of Brits and Americans.
And then they all broke up and, with each other and wrote songs about each other and had to sing them all with each other day after day. I think making Rumors was like the worst experience that they ever had. I think was absolutely dreadfully
but
awful.
it's a fantastic album.
I don't know. It's okay.
I love their music. I love all of Fleetwood Mac's music.
Or another band that redefined themselves many times. Let's see who came out of there. Jimmy Page, Eric Clapton,
Oh, Yardbirds.
Jeff Beck. Absolutely. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah. that's-
Totally. It's the greatest band ever to be from. Right?
Not to be in, but to be. Well, didn't Led Zeppelin start out as the New Yardbirds? And basically, the Yardbirds still had a few commitments to fill, and the band split up. And Jimmy Page needed to put together a band to fulfill these commitments. And I think they felt like, well, this is going to go over like a Lead Balloon or a Led Zeppelin. And so that's why they named themselves Led Zeppelin.
At least the story is plausible.
Because this was going to be a disaster. And
was Robert Plant ever in the Yardbirds?
I don't think so, but
Cebu.
I'm not up on my Yardbirds history. I just know that they basically Led Zeppelin's beginnings were as the new Yardbirds fulfilling commitments.
But a really true band that has never changed at all. In other words, they stuck with their roots from beginning to end. Milli Vanilli.
Hey, there's money to be made lip syncing.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Those poor guys. I feel so sorry for them. I think they just got shafted.
Yeah.
I mean, lip syncing is all over the fucking industry.
It wasn't their idea. The problem was they lied about it and accepted awards for things they had nothing to do with because really they were just dancers moving their mouth. I mean, that's the... But they did want to be musicians.
True, but they did what they were supposed to do. And that's what the music industry told them. So they shoved it up their ass.
Right. Really, they weren't the bad guys of the story. They were caught in the middle. They went along with someone else's lie, and then they got all the hate and all the,
They
Absolutely.
were the eye candy of the whole production.
The thing is,
is that called eye candy?
Yes.
One person's eye candy is
It's not mine.
Yeah.
It's not mine either. I find them horribly atrocious.
But I think they actually started trying to make their own music and try to be legitimate after the hit, which is kind of sad that they didn't want to just dance around for a paycheck. They wanted to make music, and
yeah, they were serious. They really wanted to do it.
But the people behind them wanted to use them to make money, and
well, didn't one of them commit suicide, or did they both?
Well, at least one of them commit suicide.
It sucks.
Yeah. So
it's all about the money.
Yeah, that it is.
Unlike Tiny Tim, who was made the butt of a joke, but he kept on trying.
Well, he was very intelligent, and it's surprising when you first discover that because he looks like this, novelty act that's, like a one-trick pony, and then when you hear him in an interview, it's like, no, this is a guy that's very serious, knows what he's doing, and is very knowledgeable, and but he did a good job of, putting on this act of, kind of a gimmicky thing.
Well, and the thing is, he really, as far as I could tell, he really wasn't much of a songwriter. So he picked something that was beyond copyrights, stuff from the 20s or whatever, and would do them. It's like, hey, I can play these songs, and people will enjoy them because I'll do it differently.
Right.
Hey, he got good enough to make it our lap end a few times.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. But they brought him in as a goof. And that goof was funny, and people liked it.
Oh, yeah, the first time he got on
But the thing is, the ukulele as an instrument went through this doldrum of about 20 years where nobody would touch it until you got some real musicians to play it in a new way that made people forget about Tiny Tim. Let's drop the falsetto voice.
You-
That's real high.
I say Tiny Tim ruined the ukulele for a generation. Is that what we're getting at here?
Kind of, yes.
So we shouldn't make ukuleles out of wait, ukuleles are the small.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was thinking the thing that you can make out of gourd and you can put up to your mouth and like make a little flute out of.
Ocarina.
Yeah, an ocarina.
Oh.
'Cause
Yeah, that
I-
has yet to make it big.
Yeah, because you can make that out of gourds or stale bread,
Yeah.
like what they used to give children back in the Victorian era. Yes.
We're learning a lot in this show. I've got to write that one down.
Ugh, Binks, get off of me.
Binks. All right. Anyways, yeah. So, well, we've gone through hour 1 and we've blown through all our material.
Oh, by the way, did you see my tweet on the technology item?
Oh, great. We got more material. No, tweet on technology. Let's you just upgraded to the iPhone 11. What is that? A little pack of pills that you just taped onto the phone there to add more
Right. Actually, I stole the picture.
to add more camera to make it look like it's got 4 camera lenses
Instead of
on
having
it.
3 cameras, it has 4, so
That's-
it's even better.
It's even better.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's terrific. Yeah, apparently the iPhone is creeping out people that have a fear of holes.
Holy shit.
No, and I heard this said in the serious context, like people that have this certain phobia of things with too many holes in them are they feel uncomfortable seeing this new iPhone design because there's like too many. Now I've not seen pictures of the thing because I don't care. I don't do the iPhone. I'm a Droid man myself, but. Then again, more holes, more options. That's not nope, not gonna go there. Those,
Two in the pink, one in the stink.
those holes are too small.
Holy shit.
What?
I've got 2 of them.
Oh,
What?
that's great.
Now, so I got 2 Tiny Tim songs in here. I didn't even know I had.
All right, so one of them's through the tulips.
Yeah.
What's the other?
However, the second one is rather strange.
Tiptoe Through the Tulips live version?
No. SpongeBob living in the sun.
Huh.
Oh.
By Tiny Tim?
Yeah.
Play it.
No.
Well, I can't play it, through here. No.
Oh, no, but, what do you say that was? It was,
SpongeBob living in the sun.
all right, let's see if we can find it. To appease, Brian's curiosity here,
Why, Brian?
Yeah,
Why?
mine too.
Bob living in the sun, Tiny
I don't even
Tim.
know how I got this.
It's a virus.
Or even why it's in here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tiny Tim.
All right, I don't know if this is a SpongeBob version. It said it.
Dear wonderful friends, what a thrill it is to be here tonight on this little special. Of course, you'll hear some numbers, old and new, made by great artists of the past, like Henry Burr, Irving Kaufman, Harry Richmond, Maurice Chevalier, and all the rest of them. God bless them all. Oh, I'm so happy, oh, happy-go-lucky me. I just go my way, living every day. I don't worry, don't agree. Things that bother you.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like a Tiny Tim song.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
There was a set of like 3 parts of video, and I can't remember who's interviewing him. This is on YouTube. Somebody was interviewing him, and he's wearing leathers because he's going to break into punk music.
What?
Ah.
It was very fascinating.
I could see that.
Okay.
Hello, welcome to Toledo Beat. We're here talking with Tiny Tim, and we're going to get to know Tiny Tim a little bit. If you don't mind, I have a question or two for you. One of them would be about your new music, your new musical direction. You're doing AC/DC's Highway to Hell and Joan Jett's I Love Rock and Roll. I heard the songs. Why the change in direction? Why in heavy metal?
Well, first of all, Mr. Nish, it's nice talking to you. First of all, while I haven't been doing this, I've always kept up with the top 10, whether it's now or 1884. When a song like...
So I think that's the interview you're talking about, because he's clearly wearing leather, and he's. But I want to hear him do one of these songs though, because I'm thinking he's going to do it with the ukulele.
Absolutely.
I don't know if he actually performs in this interview though. Well, we could just search Tiny Tim Highway to Hell, and I think we should be able to find that. Here we go. There it is. There it is.
Oh my God.
Okay, this is Tiny Tim. Where's the ukulele?
It got traded for guitar.
Oh my God, he ditched the falsetto too.
Yeah, but he does have a vibrato.
Wow.
He did it seriously. He didn't do it falsetto-ly. He did it. Let's see. There's another clip of him doing.
Well, see, I think he's always been serious.
Well,
it's just that people don't take him seriously.
He didn't do it with his shtick.
Yeah. Well, that's changing a direction, right?
Free season ticket on a one-way ride. Having nothing, leave me be. Taking everything in my stride. Don't need rhythm, don't need groove. Drinking in a rocking band. Going down, party time. I'm going to the promised land. I'm on the highway to hell. I'm on the highway to hell. I'm on the highway to hell. I'm on the highway, the byway, the highway to hell.
He lost it. He lost the falsetto. That's what it is. He can't do the falsetto like he used to. Well, he couldn't. Well, now he can't do any voice because he's dead. But at that point, he couldn't do the falsetto as much. I mean, he could get up there a little bit, but I don't think he was going to do Tiptoe Through the Tulips anymore. I don't know. Could be wrong on that.
Maybe that's why he made the big switch.
Yeah, it could be. Well, I don't think he could get away with doing a concert without closing with Tiptoe Through the Tulips, though. Maybe he only had one song in him. I don't know. Anyways, he did a little bit of it there in that one.
So let's go back to the jug band music that you got.
You want to hear more of it?
Well, you played a little bit, a couple of different clips. And there was a male vocalist, I think it was the second or third that you played.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to hear a little bit more of it.
All right.
I like the 5-foot joint.
Okay, so that's Mariah. Let's try another track. I threw on side 2 just to get different. Well, that's a slow one. I think we got more instrumental stuff on this one.
Now it sounds redneck country.
Anything wrong with that? I guess.
I won't answer that.
I guess you feel a little nervous, a little. Oh, we got a lot of Mariah on this album. All right, you wanted to hear some of the male vocalists, so let's throw on the song on side one, songs on side 1 we were listening to before. I think that's where you want us to go with it.
Yeah.
And my regular occupation is taking women from
You know, that sounds a little like blues.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's connections between lots of different music genres, so you kind of got a twangy blues. Yeah, that kind of works. What do you think, Venison?
Pretty much sounds like the same genre.
I mean, country music. Let's see what happens. The girl leaves, the dog dies. It's all sad, right?
Right.
The blues.
And the
It's
pickup
the
truck
captain
ends up on
dies.
blocks.
The old lady left, and you're by yourself. Oh yeah, same sad song. Oh, you may be in prison.
Ah. So that's the difference, the prison status.
Very similar, yeah. Well, you know, of course, there's some country guys that were in prison too. So.
Folsom County Blues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But at least the Blues didn't have, I want to marry my horse, but they won't let me.
Oh, no, come on now. They have
What was that?
they have no problem with that. There ain't no one stopping him from marrying his horse. He wants to marry his horse. He can go ahead and he can marry his horse and his horse, but not at the same time.
Oh, you mean his first and second cousins?
There you go, the
And
horse.
his sister?
Yeah. Yeah, let's piss off all our friends from the South that are tuned in. Hello, everyone.
So, Lulu, you were watching Schitt's Creek, right?
Huh? No, I haven't started watching it yet.
Oh,
I
start watching, 'cause
found-
there's like one episode where
I found The Exorcist TV show.
so where he's totally hating the big sign, you know, that welcomes people to the town, because it looks like the guy is fucking the woman.
Oh,
And the guy says, "Oh, wait, that's not his wife. That's his sister."
Oh.
oh,
And so to fix the sign, rather than making it change, they just add a sign. It's his sister. It's hilarious. Sorry, I just ruined that episode for you.
it's okay.
Okay, you know, I go bringing it back to porn. There's a video that's kind of like that. And this was more.
Why?
Well, sometimes there's porn that you watch because it's funny and you point and you laugh at it and you leave your pants on. So just to be clear, Gator's pants stays on for these videos because even if it's adopted, I ain't into the sister porn thing. But sometimes things are amusing for comedic value, and
Ultra Flesh.
now the truth of the matter is,
Ultra Flesh is one.
Dune found this video. He accidentally slipped, landed on his keyboard, and it pulled up a page with this video on it. That's his story.
Accidentally.
That's his story. That's his story. He's sticking with it. And who am I to dispute that story or point out how ridiculous it is? So, but the gist of the story is you got a step siblings that are both about the same age and are attractive teens. That are fighting over breakfast, and someone used the last of the milk. Oh, why did you use the last of the milk? Give me, that. They're fighting. Someone gets milk on their shirt. She's got to, take off her top there. They're arguing. They get into a wrestling match on the couch. He's just wearing a pair of boxers that are a little bit too big, which his dick is hanging out of accidentally. She happens to get in just the right position as a wrestling, and all of a sudden she's like, "Why is there a dick in me?" That is the line of the movie right there. She accidentally falls on his dick. And
What?
it's so stupid. It's funny. All right, I'll find you the link, Lulu. You have to watch this.
No, I don't want to watch this because that's just cringeworthy. That's like, oh my god, Why the fuck was this created?
That is if you Google "why is there a dick in me," it comes up. It's not the first term, but the first one, but it comes up. It's called bratty sis. My cock slips in stepsister, and she loves it. It's
Wow.
Yeah, it's a real movie. It's
You know what?
Give me the
I'd
link.
rather watch very, very sad and very complex home videos on.
Why is there a dick in me?
I did not
Oh!
do that. It just fell and slipped in. I did not do that. Get off.
No, it feels good.
No.
and that's it goes downhill from there. So yes, it's
Send me the link.
Oh no!
we're not tweeting that one out, but okay.
He probably already has the lotion out.
All right, I'll put it in the group chat. So
No!
Venison, you're in the group chat, right?
Yeah, I'm on Twitch.
Sending porn in the group chat.
Okay,
No!
Lulu, you just
Send
ignore
it
that.
privately.
You ignore
God
that.
damn it!
Don't click. Oh, her mouth is hanging right open there. That still isn't it? I'm sorry. I didn't know it was going to put up a preview slide. I just wanted to send the link to Venison, and I had the group chat up, and
it slipped.
and it slipped. It just kind of slipped in there, you know.
Get it out.
I don't think I could get it out.
You can't do that.
Slipped in. I did not do that. Get off.
No. Why is there a dick in me?
I did not do that.
Why is there a dick in me?
I did not do that.
God, man, that is so fucking lame.
Yeah.
You know what? I've seen clown porn. I've seen like fucking alien tentacle porn. I've seen
Teddy bear porn?
Seen, huh?
Teddy bear porn?
Yeah.
Wait, you've seen clown porn?
I've seen clown porn, dude. I've seen fisting porn. Gay fisting porn.
Oh, no. No.
Where they went up to like elbow deep.
No.
Oh.
I've seen where someone actually came into a woman's like fucking bladder. They opened up the woman.
No.
Yes, I've seen this.
Oh.
But never had in my life is that more cringeworthy than any of that.
Wait, why is there a dick in me?
I did not do that. It just fell and slipped in. I did not do that. Get off.
No, it feels good.
No.
And that's all we're going to play of that. I will say, though, she's got good tits. Anyways, I don't know if have we violated any terms of service? I don't think there's anything wrong with audio, right?
Oh my god.
I can't find the link.
Oh no, we gotta write it.
You're retarded.
Nicole writes in WTF. Yeah, that's what I said the first time I heard that clip, and then I said, "Wait a minute, that's real?" I had to verify that I heard what I heard. I was just verifying this exists, and yes, it does. We have verified it. Now you don't have to watch the whole movie. I found
Venison, if I go on my phone right now, I'm logging into my phone. I just put in the password. I'm going on Twitter right now. If it's in the fucking private message, I'm gonna fucking yell at your ass.
Wait.
It's right fucking there!
Just don't click
you
on
put
it.
it on Twitter.
Just don't click on it. No one's making you click
Okay.
on it.
Okay, go to Twitter.
Now, if you get curious later, then you can click on it. But
I'm yelling at him because he doesn't know where to find the fucking link.
oh, he didn't know. It
I
was
thought I put it on Skype.
no, the group chat and Twitter. Why would I put it in Skype? Skype sucks. Yeah. So that's the weirdest porn I've ever seen. What about you, Brian? What's the weirdest porn you ever saw? We heard Neo's list of Lulu's list of weird porn about someone trying to play someone as a hand puppet, but
well, I like the I like the ones that are the shall we call it the remake of the popular movie.
Like Austin Prowlers,
Oh my!
American Booty,
Sure, yeah,
Swinging in the Rain.
Yeah, they just kind of twist the name a little bit.
And I know the names of these not because I've ever watched any of them, but because someone left a catalog of these on the back of the toilet in the dorm. And when you see Swinging in the Rain and American Booty and Austin Prowlers, you laugh and you keep reading them. And
American Fur Pie.
Let's see if we can find more. Let's see, full parody movies. I'm trying to find a good list of them. Let's see. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Wait a minute. That's not... Oh, no, that's the original. And then...
This is a parody.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Balls. Wait, that one's a gay porn. It comes in 3D with 2 pairs of glasses. Because that's just what I want to see. A bunch of dicks popping out of my TV screen.
Play with magic wands.
Missionary Position Impossible number 2. Instead of Mission Impossible 2. Titty Titty Gang Bang. Volume 1.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Titty Titty Gang Bang. That's great right there. Pulp Friction.
Oh no.
Foreskin Gump.
What? No, you don't want to see no freaking polio fucking autistic motherfucker running around freaking fucking everyone.
All right, what about you've heard of Edward Scissorhands? What about his cousin Edward Penis Hands?
That must be a gay one.
I'm not sure how that works. No, there's a chick on the cover.
There we go.
With a guy looking like Edward Scissorhands behind her, but I don't see any penis hands. The hands are not in sight, actually.
Right, Venison, right. That's why it took so long.
All right,
That's right. The internet died again. fucking think. At least it's only gone a few minutes.
You clicked the link, and your internet said, not going to play that.
It's died.
Nope.
No input signal.
Nope. Your internet just said nope. Stepsister porn? No. Denied.
That's because he's in Ohio. He can just step out of his front door and find it.
There you go. So you've heard of
that's true about Ohio.
so you've heard of West Side Story. Well, how about Breast Side Story?
Too obvious.
Instead of Dawn of the Dead, there's Dawn of the Head. And instead of Young Frankenstein, you got Hung Wankenstein.
Oh my god. These are terrible names.
Damn, I can't remember that group of Alice.
How about The Da Vinci Load?
No.
No. How about Twink Light?
Twink Light?
That one's a gay one.
I guess.
Twilight.
How about instead of Twilight, Twink Light? How about instead of the Terminator, the Penetrator?
Oh, that sounds cool.
No, Arnold Schwarzenegger parody. No,
No?
they would have to find someone who looks a bit like Arnold Schwarzenegger and sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger. No.
And fuck their housekeeper.
All right. You've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. Well, how about Raiders of the Lost Arse? That's another gay porn.
I've heard of that one.
Instead of you've seen Titanic, what about Bitanic? That way, she doesn't have to choose. They could all have a nice threesome.
I don't like lesbian porn.
Well, no. Bitanic is 2 guys and a girl. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's wrong kind of threesome. It's that.
Oh.
I'd look at that one.
So you've seen It's a Wonderful Life. How about Tits a Wonderful Life? Okay, that was lame.
It just ruined the movie.
That's lame.
Yeah.
Well, instead of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, how about Honey, I Blew Everybody? That's barely a parody name. That's just no. I do want to watch that movie, but I don't think it's a good parody name. Instead of Lord of the Rings, Whore of the Rings.
Huh.
Of course,
No.
I think we all remember instead of Saving Private Ryan, Saving Ryan's Privates. Which is another. It seems like the gay porns have the best parody titles.
Oh, shit.
That's because they're very unique.
So there was an episode of South Park where the guys are deciding whether they're going to go like Harry Potter or like Lord of the Rings. Well, Lord of the Rings is cooler, right?
Well, it depends.
Harry Potter is for nerds. But the little kid gets the folks' video.
What the hell?
Oh yeah, this is the one that's basically a Lord of the Rings parody where the video is evil and they must return it to where it came from, which is the Dropbox
right. And
the
little
Blockbuster.
Kid watches it and he calls it My Precious.
Yes, yeah. Butters is what it's trying to get the precious. And
that was an awesome episode.
That was
I
pretty
didn't
funny.
watch it.
I mean,
so many people try to Google, backdoor sluts 9.
but South Park has done great jobs with the closing music.
Here he is, the biggest douche of the universe. In all the galaxies, there's no bigger douche than you. You've reached the top, the pinnacle of douchedom. Good going, douche. Your dreams have come true.
Good going, douche. Your dreams have come true.
Oh man, this fucking internet's a douche.
Oh.
The only thing working is the Skype. My browser won't come up. The WinApp won't connect any stations. Nothing's working.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did that link break it?
What the fuck?
Tonight, Stellar Productions presents the boy band of the decade. It's Finger Bang, live from Madison Square Garden.
Yes. Finger bang.
Damn.
That's enough of that.
I'll be right back. I gotta reboot. Something's definitely wrong with the network.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, it is, because I think it also erased all, for, yeah, that's the thing. It got to Google, but it won't go anywhere else.
Huh. All right.
Weird shit.
Oh, well.
And it all my shortcuts disappeared on the Google page. Fuck.
Uh-oh.
Be right back.
Reboot.
Yeah, well, Windows 98 is a delicate flower.
Is he on Windows 98 still? I thought it was on XP.
No, he's not on 98. He loves 98 though, but that is the show topic this week. Is
He
that
would marry Windows 98 and have its illegitimate children.
yeah, but they would. You'd have to turn them off and back on every 5 minutes.
That's okay.
Well, they invented reboot is the solution, right?
I mean, every time he asks the kid to clean his room, the kid's gonna go illegal function call in 0x2389957.
Then he'll just have to turn it off and turn it back on.
Like, okay, boot it up. All right, now clean your room. Illegal function call in 0x98557. Damn it! I just rebooted you. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
Oh, but it's so funny that it broke his computer. That link did. That one specific link.
Of course, you would like that.
You want sibling porn? We give you sibling porn. What happens to your computer is option.
His computer got fucked. And not in a good way.
No. No, it did not.
Man, what else we got going on? Oh, yeah, Brian, I need to finish it up, but I'm in the finishing stages of making that TESC surround disc that we keep talking about that I never get around to, including a channel identification test that even will send sound to your back center speaker if everything's configured properly. So,
cool.
And 2 hours of surround music I put on there because why not?
Sure.
And you might even like some of it.
Yeah.
So then we'll have to have you come back and give your review of all 2 hours of. Well, you might skip through some. I don't know. It's all good.
Did Tiny Tim ever do anything in Quad?
No Quad for Tiny Tim. I mean, the Quad was. I think Quad was really reserved for top-selling acts. Let's see. Tiny Tim was on Reprise, right? So Reprise. Let's look that up. Let's verify that. I'm trying to think what on Reprise got Quad. If we verify that it was on Reprise, yeah. God Bless Tiny Tim was on. He had one album on Reprise, and that was in the late '60s. And then, and then he had a live album. I don't think Tiny Tim had that much of a. Well, there was an unauthorized recording. All right, so the Tiny Tim's second album. Oh, he had a second album on Reprise. He appeared on one of the Beatles' Christmas records. Let's see, Reprise in the late '60s, and then Tiptoe to the Gas Pumps, Cloud Records, 1979. Oh, that refers. Oh, that was a parody song referring to the long gas lines during the oil crisis. Tiptoe to the Gas Pumps. I get it. That's funny. So yeah. No, he wasn't releasing stuff in the Quad era. His albums came out in the late '60s. And so probably by the time they're mixing stuff for Quad, it's over. He's not selling records anymore. Right. No, but Reprise acts that were releasing Quad were things like Jethro Tull, Gordon Lightfoot.
But you could take the tracks and turn it into Quad with other musicians.
What now?
You could take a track from Tiny Tim,
Right.
and if it's stereo, that's even better because then you've got 2 tracks, and then you add your own tracks to fill in.
Overdub his, unless, did they ever put out Rock Band stems of Tiptoe Through the Tulips? Probably not. But we're going to Google that anyways. Tiptoe Through Tulips, Rock Band Mog. No, nothing's coming up on that search term. But yeah, so we'd have to overdub. Well, I guess you could, but that's not my bag. But
Or karaoke. Search for karaoke tracks of it.
Well, yeah, but
yeah, karaoke tracks would be good.
yeah, well, they probably have it, but that's not going to help us much, Eddie, unless we want to sing. I mean, my door is closed and my windows are closed, but I have a feeling the cats are going to claw me when I come out of this room if I dare to do this. But
oh, have you seen the video of?
Oh, we missed it.
What?
I missed the beat. Tiptoe
for what?
by the window.
Oh, you're trying to sing it? Why are we singing it? I
I
don't understand this.
Through the tulips with a bee.
God, he sounds so nasally.
Okay, I missed that note. By the garden,
Right.
by the garden.
I guess by the garden.
Willow tree, come tiptoe
What the fuck?
through the tulips with
I'm so
a bee.
Not high enough. Not high enough.
Baby, if flowers will stray,
Oh my god.
we'll keep
This is so weird.
showers away, and if I kiss you,
Are we
in
down
the
to one listener yet?
in the moonlight,
Dude, I haven't
will it
a clue.
pardon me and tiptoe through the
I don't think
tulips
there's anyone in the
with a
fucking
bee.
Twitch chat.
Okay, now it's just us.
So,
it's
so
safe
Johnny,
to talk
have you
now.
Have you seen the video where this lady?
This was your
they have
idea,
actually
Brian.
Several clips of this where the lady starts to sing,
Uh-huh.
and the cat attacks her in the face. And they do this multiple times, and at the end, she explains that it includes no biting and no clawing. So it's just body slams. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So, that was your idea, Brian. So that was your fault. So send all hate
Yes.
mail to Brian Blues, care of Brian Blues's house.
Or
The
right on Twitter.
the
You don't even
internet,
have to leave your
California.
couch,
Yeah,
or you don't have to put on pants.
yeah. Just send hate
You
tweets
don't
to at
have
Brian
to
Blues.
Put on pants.
Oddly enough, you also don't have to put on pants while singing like Tiny Tim, although it helps.
Leather makes it better.
You put the pants on, you hike those way up, and there goes your voice, and that's how you do that.
Okay.
Okay, so let's never do
Yeah,
karaoke
Strami.
again.
Yeah, don't be doing karaoke, man. Even I know my limits.
Yeah. That was
Yeah. I can hum to a fucking tune, but
well, that was.
I don't sing.
You know, considering that, I'm not a singer, and that was way out of my vocal range. That wasn't that bad.
Did you know someone made Tiptoe in the Tulips in 1944?
That makes sense.
It was done by Nick Lucas. There's a video of him on YouTube about it.
All right.
So-
Well, yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah, absolutely, there is. I wonder if he could sing it better than me.
Don't know.
I think anyone can sing it better than me.
Shades of night are creeping, willow trees are weeping, old folks and babes.
He's a what is that, alto?
I don't know.
I mean, he's got a high voice, but it's not falsetto,
No.
which is impressive.
My dear, come tiptoe to the window, by the window.
Yeah, that's better than I did, I think. Just to be fair, he does it better. But then again, I was trying to do Tiny Tim's version.
Right.
Okay, that's enough tiptoeing through tulips. I think I jumped up and down on the tulips is what I did. Come trample over the tulips with me.
Yeah, you weren't tiptoeing, man. And I don't think Tiny Tim was tiptoeing either, man.
Trample,
He fucking
crush them all down, jump
no,
up and
he was slithering or
down,
something, man.
kick the
he sounds
willow
weak.
tree.
I don't like how Tiny Tim's like performs it.
Uh,
He's creepy. He looks creepy.
Wait, you played it from who?
who was that?
Nick Lucas.
Yeah, that was Nick Lucas from a clip from something in 1944. It's on the YouTube.
Because actually, the song comes from 1929.
Oh yeah, I mean it was probably
Al
a standard
Dubin
by then.
And Joe Burke. Oh, made popular by Nick Lucas. But it was with a film called The Gold Diggers of Broadway.
Okay, oh, it was probably what that was a clip from then. Because
Yeah,
it was
the
a film
original,
clip.
yeah.
It was an old-timey film clip that was pulled up on YouTube that we were playing there. We take requests, so if anyone in the chat room wants me to sing something different, no, I'm not going to sing again. Not unless you get me drunk, and that's not going to happen on a Monday night.
And the song was used in Sinking in a Bathtub, the first Looney Tunes cartoon short in 1930.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Is that cool?
That is cool.
Yeah.
And then completely ruined by Tiny Tim in 1968.
Ruined or perfected?
No, ruined because he looks like a psycho.
The song was also later covered by the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band.
Bonzo Dog Doodah Band.
You've got to find that.
Okay. All right. We're gonna. All right. Bonzo Dog Doodah. Sure enough, Google autocompletes. They did a lot of songs. There's a Wikipedia page about them. Let's read up on them before we start playing their stuff. Was created by a group of British art school students in the 1960s. This is off to a great start already. Combining elements of music hall, traditional jazz, and psychedelic pop with surreal humor and avant-garde art. Okay, this is all sounding very good.
So what's wrong with it?
Nothing. I everything I read is great about them. So let's find their version of Tiptoe Through the Tulips. And have a little fun. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's right here. And it's just queuing up now. So hopefully Oh, you know what would help? What would help would be to turn the fader up is what would help. So we're going to try that again.
Contestant is Sam Spoons on Vox Humana, Basso Misterioso.
Shades of night are creeping. Willow trees.
Yeah, so they're okay. This is an interesting rendition. They're going with a lower vocal range for this rendition.
That's coming down from the basement.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's been up high for so long. If you're gonna do it different, take it down here.
Come tiptoe to the window, by the window. That's where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Tiptoe from your pillow to the shadow of a willow tree.
I like it. This is a good arrangement. They do a good job with it.
Oh no.
No?
No, Gators.
Yes.
I think Venison might be in trouble because of that link.
Did it actually mess up his computer?
No. Venison.
No. Yeah.
Apparently there's Ohio trafficking in your state. Is that sex trafficking?
What now?
Trafficking?
Yeah, this is Ohio trafficking. And it shows 2 men. I don't know what the Ohio trafficking is. I'm gonna look into it because and then it says YouTube verification updates. So
What has the state finally become cool?
what do you mean cool?
Okay, what was that?
I have no idea.
What?
Someone just played a sound like a boing.
That's what I was talking about. That's the sound that you're gonna hear.
What is it?
That's the hard drive zipping up.
Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay. So we've only heard that twice in 2 hours, so that's not too bad.
Yeah. That's the sound you're gonna hear.
Okay.
That's the hard drive.
That's mildly amusing. I like it. So,
Really?
so what's the deal with Ohio trafficking? And you think Venison got in trouble for clicking the link? And are they sending people?
If he uses the Google Chrome browser, because YouTube is part of Google, so I'm thinking because it's Pornhub.
But what, is porn outlawed in Ohio now, and he's in trouble for clicking?
Not that I know of.
But it's depending on what type of porn and if it's categorized certain ways. You could do
But it's on
Child porn, I consider doing that, but anything else?
They are clearly in a teenage range, which is plausible for 18, and I'm sure the people that are playing in the movie are well into their 20s at least, and I don't think they're even really step siblings. I think they're just pretending. And I think they both knew exactly what they were doing when they got on that couch.
No, I didn't even click the link.
Oh, okay.
Never got a chance.
Okay.
And in the process of rebooting, the internet died again.
All right. Well, you'll be fine. You can watch it later.
Okay.
Something for before bed.
I just worry, I see things.
Wait, you see something that implies that certain videos might be a no-no in Ohio as opposed to other states?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, see, Ohio, a hub for human trafficking. Ohio child sex trafficking sting nabs more than 100.
Well,
that.
Well, that's good because
that's for doing humans.
That's for people that are like trying to own humans, not watch videos. So unless
certain videos, you can get in trouble with that too.
Unless Venison's got a few stepsisters hiding in his basement, I think we're okay.
Well, no.
This place don't have a basement.
Sex trafficking, they can use them for anything from hookers to porn sex slaves to whatever, they can sell them off as slaves to making porn, illegal porn and stuff. So
I haven't found any of that here yet.
I hope you're not trying to look for it.
Not now.
You know, it's funny. Yeah, when I was in college, I did a lot of. When I was in college in the late '90s, the internet was a very different place, and
oh yeah,
and I was doing a lot of browsing, and you go from one site to the next site to the next site. You try a few different free trials and cancel them before they start billing you. And late one, I don't know how this happened, and I don't know if part of me is like, that couldn't have been real. That must have been a parody site or something. But somehow I got like, well, every time you load up a page, about 20 other windows would pop open, and some of them would look interesting and some of them wouldn't.
Oh yeah.
And that's why pop-up blockers is such a thing, because I mean, you'd literally get 50 windows open at the same time, and you're trying to figure out which ones are the ones you want to look at, which ones are the ones that just opened up along the way. So late one night, it's probably 2 a.m, I'm closing Windows, and I see something curious, and somehow through a series of links, I get to some site that literally was listing sex slaves that they were selling, complete with this personality descriptions. This one's a new one. She still has a little bit of fight in her, but she should train real nicely into a good one. And I'm like, what the? This is fucked. What the hell? And I closed the window at that point because I was like, whoa, hold on a second here. This is wrong.
Oh, yeah. Pre-1997, the internet was a real interesting place.
And I still, for the life of me, when I think back to, at the time, it looked and sounded very real. And then later you think about it, you're like, that couldn't be real. People wouldn't just put up a website for that.
Yes.
But there was nothing to make it look like a parody or a joke. There was no punchline. But then again, so it's like, did I really accidentally stumble on a sex slave website?
Yes.
Did that?
You could have
very much
deep,
so.
Gone kind of far into the dark web area.
Well, that's
through porn sites.
I don't think the dark web was a thing. It was just the web. But
No, it could have been dark web, the beginnings of it.
Dude, I went looking around for a candy shop because there was one up in Warren that had these awesome candy sticks with awesome flavors, and they closed it. I tried to find another one, so I Googled it and clicked on one that said candy store. So I clicked on it. Turned out to be a child porn site.
Oh no, don't admit to that one.
Close that real quick.
That's in your history forever. That's on your permanent record.
No, it's not. That drive died.
There's no statute of limitations. They can prosecute you to the day you die. If they find the garbage dump that hard drive's in. Well, no, they just have to have records that you visited the site. That's all they have to have. ISP keeps records. That's a bad mistake to make.
I use proxies. Even then, I was paranoid about the internet, so I had loads of proxies to communicate.
We have a audio confession archived to YouTube forever and ever.
Yeah.
As long as you don't keep talking about it.
Dude, I'm sorry, but they can just rewind it and find it.
It's on Memorex now.
You're fucking screwed, dude.
Memorex, no problem.
I mean, that's the type of stuff that they don't mess around with even accents. What wasn't it? Didn't someone actually reach out to law enforcement and said, I am doing research about child porn. I might I might obtain material for research purposes, and he went through all the proper paperwork and notifications to notify people that he was doing this, and then they raided him and busted him. and even with all the hoops he jumped through, they still were not taken as excuses. And so it's like you can't.
You can't get away from it.
No.
It's still.
I was trying to get to a candy site. It said candy.
It said candy. Yeah, I know. But that's the type of thing that it's like you make a innocent mistake, and you could, through a stroke of bad luck, have your life destroyed over it. Which it's sad that our judicial system or justice system is so fucked up in some ways. Not the like. I think Gothard knew someone who had a relative or something, knew someone that he was doing some photography for kind of a softcore porn site, nude photography, and someone lied about her age, and so he had pictures of her nude when she was 17, and at some point the lie came out, and he took the pictures down. But the pictures had already gotten out there, and then at some point it gets flagged somewhere, and then it gets traced back to him. Next thing, this is blowing up into a thing, and it's like, look, at like 10 years ago, this girl lied to me about her age. I took some pictures. I took them down as soon as I found out. That's the story. But it turns into this huge snowballing nightmare that he's got to deal with, and it wouldn't just go away. I don't know how that ever ended for him. But I know it was like, lawyers, courtrooms, serious shit going down because, someone lied about their age. And it's like,
Yeah, prosecutors trying to make themselves look big.
There's some prosecutors that really, the problem is that powers need checks, and we don't have it. We have way too much unchecked power in this country. And there's a prime example of that I don't even have to say, but
is the biggest douche of the universe. In all the galaxies, there's no bigger douche than you. You've reached the top, the pinnacle of douchedom. Good going, douche. Your dreams have come true.
Yeah.
That's it. I had a friend of mine who had it worse. He worked in one of these Chuck E. Cheese type establishments.
Oh no! Don't do that.
Yeah. Well, he had no choice, but he needed money, so he worked there, and he got to be a friend. Because he was, I think he was 19 at the time. And he hooked up with a friend who became video game buddies. Totally into video games. And, and one time went over to his house and met his sister, who was an older sister. And he started spending a little more time with the sister than him. He got jealous. So he went to, did the whole, he molested me thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Got arrested and all that other shit. Went through a lot of shit. They found out that he lied. He found out that he lied. Well, like that, his parents and they dropped the charges and all, but the state refused to let it go. They kept it in jail, because they were going to try to prosecute him. And he said finally, because he couldn't come up with bail money or money for anything else, so he just said, "Fuck it." Finally, pleaded to lesser charges or something like that. Was able to get out, but he spent like 6 months in jail.
Yeah, that's
over a lie.
That's one of the real problems in our judicial system is most cases end in a plea deal in which you admit guilt to something lesser, even if you're innocent, because we have a system that's based around avoiding trials at all costs. And so it's a normal thing that even if you're innocent, that's the whole, well, you go to trial, you might end up being found guilty, and then whereas here's your golden ticket
Tommy
out.
Chong spent some time in jail,
right? Well, and that was entrapment that he the problem he had, and he just did that to protect his family.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. there's so much, there was, and I mean, I'm not trying to suggest this is the norm, but this exists and is a problem, and it is a very serious problem. But like there was a guy that was on a prescription medication for something, and he accidentally filled his prescription early, which resulted in him having a larger quantity of this type of drug in his house than you're legally allowed to have at one time, which is a detail of a law that usually you might not be. I mean, when the doctor writes a prescription and says, here, fill this, it doesn't come with an instruction manual that says, be sure to never have more than this many milligrams in your possession at one time. You fill the prescription, you take the pill because you're a law-abiding citizen that's just taking your medicine. You're not stockpiling stuff and selling stuff. And somehow he filled his prescription early, and I don't know how this came to the prosecutor's attention. I don't know if they were tracking all the filled prescriptions and monitoring what everyone's bringing home, but somehow they got wind of this, and this was a guy in a wheelchair, and they literally called out a SWAT team, surrounded his house, broke down the door, interrupted the family eating dinner to drag this guy out of his wheelchair, handcuff him, drag him in, press charges against him for taking his medication for medical reasons. And when it basically came out that this obviously was a guy that was not abusing drugs, that was not selling drugs, and that was in no way a threat, the prosecutor didn't want to let the case go, and I think this guy ended up in jail over filling a prescription a little early, causing him to run afoul of a law that was in place to have leverage against drug dealers. And you see things like that, and that's like this.
And on that happy note, we're coming to the end of a show.
Well, just about. But wait, there's other instance I saw of, believe it or not, on Drawn Together, and when the Captain Hero, whoever it was, sit there and had a picture of himself at 15 fucking a sub sandwich.
Ooh.
And he didn't post it anywhere. He just had it. But somehow or another, he got busted with it, got arrested, and thrown into jail for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, does that really happen? And I have people tell me, yes, that happens. Even it's a picture of yourself.
Hang on, I gotta take a break real quick. I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, even a picture of yourself that you just had for your own purposes. You could get arrested for child porn.
Well, if you're a child, and that's the thing, is that you have teens that will sext and exchange pictures, and then they get in trouble over that, and it ends up going on their permanent record, and it's I'm not promoting kids showing each other what they got, but
they are just they upgraded that law fairly recently, because I read somewhere that some kid in school had pictures on his laptop or something, of kids in this age group, and he got arrested, taken to court, and the judge decided, well, since it's him, it's his age group, these are his peers, we can't do anything about it. But I think they changed that law now so that everybody gets busted, no matter what.
Yeah, anyways, on that happy note, though, the Elephant Ballet is live, so we're going to try to raid them if there's anyone to raid them with. So, we do have Brain Dead comments, and people asking for nip slips.
Great! The browser crashed.
I don't do nip slips. Sorry. No nip slips here, but thank you. What's
a nip slip?
That's when you have a wardrobe malfunction.
That.
Yeah, I think they want me to take my shirt off. Hey, well, the question is, am I wearing pants? You don't know. Only I know.
Why not show them a little bit of nipple? Maybe it'll get us more views.
Oh, and they left. They left. No
Hey,
nipple
you
for them.
complain about me not wearing pants.
I am wearing pants. I was just trying to make them think maybe I wasn't. But I would raid the Elephant Ballet, but we don't have anyone to send over with a raid. So, but hey, Venison, if you want to go over there and recommend that they play Zappa, they love it when you do that, and I might check them out too. You remember the Elephant Ballet? We were over there 2 weeks ago watching them. And they did My Guitar Wants to Kill Your Mama.
Yeah, I don't know if I bookmarked them or not. Oh, that's what did I do that for?
It's twitch.tv/The Elephant Ballet.
I forgot. I hit the wrong button instead of the browser. I had to close the browser because it crashed.
Anyways, though, it's that time again. It's time to talk about what have we learned this week, because I think we've learned so many things. Venison, what have you learned this week?
Well, I've learned that your choices of electronic music still suck, no matter who did it.
Hey, George Harrison, man. George, he was a Beatle.
It still sounded like crap. Oh, God. And that you, go to rather interesting porn sites.
I like I said, Dune fell down, hand landed on his keyboard, and that page just happened to pop up. That's how we discovered that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
And apparently someone loves funky. So, okay. Now, Brian, what have you learned this week?
I said I was going to write that down, but I didn't.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong chat room. You said you're going to write it down. What were you going to write down? The link to the...
Oh, no, Lulu said something that says, oh, I learned that. I'm going to have to write that down.
Oh, and
But
you
I
already
didn't.
forgot.
I lied.
Oh,
I forgot.
man. You learn nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Oh, great. Now my browser won't come up.
Oh, no.
I've learned that Venison's computer has issues. Maybe he should upgrade to Windows 10.
Yeah, right.
And last but not least, certainly, is Lulu. What have you learned this week?
I've learned that you come into this world shitting your brains out, and you leave this world shitting your brains out.
While watching...
yes.
That's actually...
While watching fisting porn.
That's actually a problem if you come into the world shitting, because then they don't want you to take your first breath until they clean the bacteria out of the area. If you... I know this because one of my siblings had an early dump on the way out, and so they warned my mom, you're not going to hear crying right away because we're going to, need to... She had a little accident in there. We're going to...
You shat yourself, bitch!
No, not the baby. The baby shat. The preborn baby shat. So you don't typically come into the world... But yeah, I think you go out that way. There is no modesty is gone when you're in your last.
I swear to God, my dad has. I don't know. I think we've went through a whole package of fucking briefs in less than 24 hours. That man has filled a 5-gallon bucket. 1.5 tons.
Damn!
Have you put down newspapers on all the floor at this point? I mean, this is...
Diarrhea!
Cha-cha-cha. Driving in the Chevy and you feel something. Wait, anyways, that's not what we...
Diarrhea!
Get up the ladder and feel something splatter.
Diarrhea!
And we're like, what the fuck?
Well, hang in there, and both of you, all of you, I'm online. If you need anything, you know how to reach me through the Twitters.
I know. I'm now laughing at it because I can't believe how much this man is shitting.
Sometimes
I'm sure.
you have to laugh. Sometimes you just have to.
Yeah, it's unfucking believable.
All right. Well, anyways, we're not going to do a raid because there's no one to send over in a raid. But if you're listening to this somewhere, or if you're watching this on the YouTube, which I don't even think we got anyone over there anymore, take it on over to twitch.tv/The Elephant Ballet because they are live now. Be sure to check out InsureRadio.com. More live programming this week. I'll be back this Sunday with the Dune and Bob show, 6 to 8 Eastern on Sunday. Maybe no, I will not be here this Sunday. I will be in Boston at a Stereolab concert because Stereolab is touring. And thank you everyone. Which they've reissued their albums with bonus tracks, which includes instrumental versions of things. Hence my new backing track, which is the instrumental version of "The Flower Called Nowhere" from their album Dots and Loops. I just love the layers. They really, it's hypnotic. How can you not like this?
I like this song.
This is a great song. And so I'm like, that's it. I'm taking the instrumental version. Here's my new backing music for the show ends. So anyways, yeah. Stereolab live in Boston this Sunday. I'm going to be there. They're sold out. But we'll be back here next week. Same time, same place. And good night.
Pay attention to Twitter because he will be bitching about trains and shit.
We'll see.
Yes,
All right.
Okay. Chrome died. Firefox still works. And I'm hoping that link is still there.